welcome to Season 2, Week 12 of the Aefl Review, guys, and I hope you all have had a great Thanksgiving, as I'm pretty well aware that you're all thankful for this league and how great of a commish you have. I know I'm certainly thankful. As I've mentioned before, this has been voted the best fantasy football league in Northeast Indiana, if not the entire state. So, of course, as your commish, I'm very thankful for all the votes from all our fans. But, looking into last week, though, it looks like the playoff picture got a little bit more clear, as this week Tanner, Justin, Dustin, and Trevor can rest easily, while people like me, Will, Ben, and Brandon are still fighting for one of those last playoff spots. But let's get into the scores there, as I went on to beat Brandon 117.5 to 84.7. Raging Boners is on a roll here, as I think they've won the last 2 weeks, as they pick up a big win over former Child Stars 126.3 to 92.4. Find a Black and Decker finds a win there over Newton's Law 108.4 to 103.9. Liquor in the front, Poker in the back still has those sneaky ways of winning, as they take down the Inglorious Bastards 113.9 to 103.5. Old Smuggler somehow squeaks out the win there over to Will there, 137.9 to 136. Tanner, you can thank your overtime games. And then Grand Slam Breakfast Squad there picks up yet again their 8th win of the year, 135.3 to 103.7. Now, going into the games a little bit more, I had a huge week from Tom Brady, Jason Witten, and Pierre Garçon, while Ray Rice still seems to worry me. Reggie Bush didn't have too good of a week. But then if you look at Brandon's team, though, he had 84 points, lowest in the league for this week. But, with the running back troubles that you're having with McFadden out and Sproles out, just not much happening there for you. Now, looking into bonus game, man, just been taking off. A lot of it's due to Josh Gordon. Great play there with Ryan Fitzpatrick as your QB. And then your trade to get Maurice Jones-Drew was fantastic, as he's been putting up decent points all year, and he had big points this week, and someone to keep in the Keepers League going into next year, while Barr, on the other hand, didn't get as many points from Romo or Des Bryant. And then you throw in LaShawn McCoy was on bye, Jordan Cameron didn't put up very many points, and then Jordy Nelson also didn't do very much, but Nelson is kind of expected there with Aaron Rodgers out with the pack, and then you have Matt Flynn coming in. As I mentioned, Trevor picks up the win there over Yates by just 5 points. Yates got to be a little bit concerned, man. Last 2 out of 3 weeks, Victor Cruz isn't putting up very many points. And then AJ Green didn't do much. And then, Janikowski pick you up 15 points, your kicker, and he's on your bench. Instead, you go with your other kicker. I forget who it is, but doesn't put up nearly as much. You just switch out the kickers, you get the win. Where Trevor, you got decent points from Manning, but most of the defense did all the scoring there, or at least led to the scores. And they come out second half, they didn't do shit. And then you throw in the fact that, gosh darn it, who was it? Frank Gore and Eric Decker, they've been a little low the last few weeks, and that's something to look into. But Jamal Charles puts up big points. Your Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense is putting up big points. Still get your 7th win of the year, and that basically solidifies you and Yates playing each other in the playoffs. Now, Jared gets a win there over Inglorious Bastards. Ben, I tell you what, man, for a makeshift roster, I've been saying the last few weeks, you're doing a hell of a job. Only lost by 10 points to Fichter there, who, Ben, you had Rainey, who picked up big points for you the previous week and doesn't do too much this week. And then Jared, most of your running backs there with Adrian Peterson, I forget your other running back, but they put up some decent number of points for you. But something I found a little curious to see is that you had Anquan Bolden setting the bench, man. He's going up against the Washington defense, who's one of the worst passing defenses in the league, and you miss out on valuable points. Dude, you got to grab those points. That's the difference in the seeding and the playoffs going on right now. You got to start looking in the matchups and what's going to get you the points. Then Tanner, my God, man, earlier in the day we were talking about how just talking about overtimes in general, and you make the comment, overtimes are like a gift from the gods, and fuck, man, what do you know it, you go on to win this week because of fucking overtime, where your kicker kicks the game-winning field goal, and, dare I say it, snakes out the win for you over Will, whereas Will, man, you kind of got screwed there with Stacy getting hurt, And then what a great play to put Alex Smith in over Matt Ryan. I don't even know if he deserves the nickname Matty Ice anymore because the Atlanta Falcons are so god-awful. But, they've had a lot of injuries. Their offensive line isn't as good. Their defense is just awful. But Tanner, like I said, snakes out the win and picks up the victory there by, 1.9 points. So, Willie, I know you were needing that point to get into the playoffs. But, like I said, since you and Ben both lost and then you outscored him this week, it looks like you could make the playoffs just based on points. Dustin and Adam's game, Adam, your win streak comes to an end, basically almost eliminating, if not actually eliminating you from the playoffs. As Dustin, as always, man, you've been just fucking killing it lately. You gotta love the auto draft. I tell you what, I think you got on the lucky end where Boner did auto draft too, and I mean you could tell the difference in the rosters here. 8-4 for you, 4-8 for him. But Edwards, something to think about starting Austin in the lineup now. I mean, last 2 weeks he's been tearing it up. And then RG3, I mean, let's be honest, just wasn't the player that we were all expecting this year. I don't know if he's ready to come back. A lot of players saying he wasn't, but he hasn't done too well all year. I mean, he's had his moments, and then Alfred Morris didn't score much. And then throw in the fact, man, Dustin scores 135 points, and Jericho Cotchery doesn't score a single point. I mean, that's pretty damn good. I mean, you had the possibility there, Dustin, to score even more if Jericho Cotchery actually puts up some points, which is surprising because him and Big Ben have been connecting a lot recently. But either way, you still pick up the win. And now, for everyone's favorite part of the show, we'll get into Trevor Freimeyer's Cocksucker of the Week.
No, wait, he definitely wants to get you hot dog. You cocksucker!
And this week's Trevor Freimeyer's Cocksucker of the Week is a no-brainer yet again. You easily have to give it to Will. Yeah, Zach Stacy just running all over the field, scoring touchdowns, putting up points, and then what? He leaves with an injury. And then Tanner gets a gift from the heavens of an overtime, and his kicker comes in and not only kicks a game-winning field goal for the team, but also kicks a game-winning field goal for Tanner. I mean, it's a no-brainer here. So this week's Trevor Freimeyer's Cocksucker of the Week goes to Will Wetzel. Now, looking into next week's games, the final and the last game of the regular season, the one games that we're all watching, as some of us, like I mentioned, are fighting for our lives to get into the playoffs, is me and Trevor facing each other, which I'm already up 32.6-0. I have two players playing today. I had Reggie Bush go off for dang near 30 points, and I think Jason Witten's got me about 5 or 6 so far, where Trevor, you haven't had any of your players play. Former Child Stars and Old Smuggler facing off, where Bart has both, Tony Romo and Des Bryant going right now, but only 13 points. Then Old Smuggler has 42 points from Matt Stafford and Calvin Johnson, but Burleson didn't get any points, but it doesn't matter when you have Stafford and Johnson score that many points. Paul Baker's Dream Team versus Team Minivan, Brandon has 0.7, and Edwards has 6 points so far. Inglorious Bastards takes on the Raging Boners 25.4-0. And then Grand Slam Breakfast Squad against Newton's Law, where Grand Slam has 5.9 to Newton's Law 3. Helmet to Helmet Contact faces Liquor in the front, Poker in the back, and Will is up 8.7-0. Now, looking into the standings, as I mentioned, some of us are fighting for our lives. If I lose and Brandon wins, it looks like Brandon is going to take the playoff spot due to points, as he's more than 100 points ahead of me. But if I win and he loses, or we both win, I will take that spot in the playoffs due to the overall record. And then going into the fight there between Will and Inglorious Bastards, I mean, you know what? Believe it or not, there is a small chance that Raging Boners might just sneak into the playoffs. If Boner wins, which is crazy because I think we crossed him out of the list yesterday, but if Boner wins, let's look at the points though. He will have the same record if Helmet to Helmet, Will, and Ben are to lose. They'll all three be 5-8. But looking at the points, yeah, I don't think Boner's going to make it due to the points. But right now, only 2 points separate Will and Ben. 2 points, fellas. So if both teams lose and both teams win, it all comes down to points. I mean, that's probably by far the tightest race we have in the league right now. It's pretty actually exciting. Will brought up the idea of doing the divisions and how we play the divisions more, and I love how we're finishing off the season playing people within our divisions, and it's just created such a freaking tight race. I love it. This is what we're all like wanting out of this league. Fellas, I am just looking forward to see where everything ends this week. I hope you all have had a good Thanksgiving. Like I said, I know how thankful you are for this league and for your commissioner. And fellas, I appreciate all the texts today saying thanks for everything. Actually, I did get one text from Tanner. Love you too, dude. Thank you for the text and the love for being the commish. It's a lot of work. It's rough stuff, but I do it for you guys. I do it for you all. But as always, fellas, I will talk to you later. Fuck you.